And welcome to the second session of Welcome to Cappy Terra, which is our tentative name for our Fabula Ultima game we got going on. Last time, we had just left the city of Aquilea, and we were starting the journey eastward through the woods toward the Elemental Shrine. We ran into a witch in a lovely hut with some raptor motif and a very talkative raven or crow. Her name was Zeta, and the crow's name was what again? Celine, what was the crow's name again?
Callie.
Callie, that's right. We learned that there were some issues with some soldiers who had lots of paperwork going on, and we proceeded to the Elemental Shrine where we got into a fight with someone with an abnormally large spear that seemed to have some connection to Janus in his past. And
She was a pain in my Janus.
she was a pain in the Janus. The party was able to defeat her with some wonderful magic and quick shooting on the behalf of Killian with a barrage of bullets. And that's where we left off. And this week we are picking up on our way to continue into the Elemental Shrine and to figure out what's going on with this water elemental.
Correct. Last week, she used an Ultima point. Her name was Minerva. She used an Ultima point to step backwards off of the cliff that you all had climbed up to get to the top of this waterfall that led to the elemental temple or shrine. And when you looked over the edge, she was gone. Where'd she go? As you all turn, the water leads up to what appears to be a temple. It is covered in moss and looks very in disrepair, almost as if it has not been taken care of in a long time. What do the four of you do?
Well, it looks like we found
Well,
the
I
place.
guess we should.
Sorry.
We should start exploring then. Find this elemental. See what's wrong.
Agreed. Do we see a way in?
The water from the river goes into the temple. There does not appear to be a door. It just appears that this water flowing is the only way in or out.
Is it like there's an archway like we can walk through and
Yes.
okay.
It looks like there's an entrance that the water is coming out of.
Okay.
I'm going to sigh deeply, just.
Looks like we need to get wet.
But there's a pathway leading up to the temple. We would just have to like get in the water and go through the archway at that point.
Correct.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to walk up towards the temple, and then when we get closer, I'm going to start taking my boots off.
Can I use my staff to see how deep the water is over there? Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah, the river itself is about 20 feet wide. If you stay to the edges, it's not very deep, but as you get farther out, it gets deeper and the water is a lot stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to stay as close to the edge as possible.
Same.
All right. As you all start to get into the water and head in, you feel the water start to swirl around you as this pillar of water forms in front of you into a very stern-looking face. And it is just looking at the four of you.
Hello?
What are you doing here?
Well, we came to make sure things were okay, explore, and found there were others intent on harming you. We wanted to make sure you were safe.
Oh, them. We took care of several of them. We thought there would be more. Are you with them?
No.
How do we know that?
I guess it's a good question.
Is this normal?
It
Talking to water.
I talk to the
I mean,
night
it's a water
sky.
spirit. But does it talk back to you?
Yes, actually.
Oh, okay.
As you say
Should
that, the
probably-
water turns and looks at you. The night sky, you say?
Yes, night sky. It's taught me quite a few things, but most notably how to traverse great distance with but a thought.
Interesting. You might be worth speaking to. Hold for a moment. The water dissipates, and you just see the water that was rushing towards you, like the flow of the river, reverses. And it, like, pulls back before it starts flowing normally again. After about a moment, it rushes really fast. I'm going to need a check from all of you to not be sucked with the river. I'm going to say that is going to be a dexterity check. And then you all get to pick the other die you roll.
I am going to go dexterity and insight because I am going to be like, hey, I saw that water rush out, and part of my whole, doing the stargazing and weather stuff in Crescent Harbor would tell me, hey, this is not a good thing, and I should be ready for the tide to rush back in. So,
Okay.
insight is going to be mine.
I'm going to choose might and like widen my stance and brace myself, essentially.
Okay.
I'm going to choose might and dex.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oof.
As much as I'd love to make a case for willpower, I'm having a hard time thinking of one. So I think I may have to go insight with just the similarly looking and reading the situation of, yeah, this is probably
use
what's going to happen
willpower.
next.
Could use willpower for like a deep concentration focus. No?
If that's kosher, then I'll go with that.
I will allow that without any issues.
Aw, thanks. Roll.
All right. Kara and Joe, the two of you are able to brace yourselves as the water bursts back towards you. One moment. John and Killian, the water hits the two of you. You lose your footing and start to flow with the river, being sucked more towards the deep middle. You start to flow towards the waterfall. I'm going to need another check from the two of you to not go over this waterfall. I'm going to say the one that you're going to need is might because you are fighting against a current. And then you two will pick your other one.
I'm doing might and dex again.
Okay.
6 and a 10. I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, but
I did not mean to click that. Apologies.
Oh, okay.
I'm also looking at one of my support abilities.
Yeah, I was looking through them and I'm like, oh, I don't think I can use this now. So,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I'm going to do something here. Was that successful on my end?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to go
It was a
ahead.
6. You needed a 7.
Right. I'm going to invoke my identity.
Okay.
To re-roll that d6.
By spending a fabula.
By spending a fabula point, which I'm going to click here.
All right.
I'm going to say spend a fabula point. It says Killian used the fabula point. By the way, over on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, where it says players, you'll see your name and a number next to it. That's your fabula points. If you click on that, you can click that and it'll say spend a fabula point, and it'll track it for us.
Cool.
That is nice.
Anything other than a 1. Ha! So,
all
that
right.
would be a
9.
9.
All right. Yeah, you are easily able to get yourself corrected and onto the bank of the shore, or onto the river bank. John, you as well were able to do so. And as the two of you are like clambering back onto the shore, Celine and Janus, the pillar of water forms in front of you again, the face with a confused look. And where are the other two?
Your return pushed them away.
I'm going to shout out, over here.
Unfortunate.
Over here. These boots don't have a lot of traction.
So they are... so they are present. Stross will see you. Follow me. And it sinks back into the water and doesn't rush away this time. You can just see like a trail of it looks like glitter in the water.
You two coming?
Of course.
I'm coming.
Look a little waterlogged.
It happens.
That's why I took my boots off.
Did you catch that
Well,
name? Was it Stross?
Stross was the one that he's taking us to see.
Cool.
I'd imagine it's the elemental itself.
I hope so.
It leads you in, and once like the little entranceway opens up into a chamber, it's no longer like a flowing river. There's just a giant pool of water.
Flowing river. There's just
Whoa.
Sorry.
Echo.
Mm-hmm.
It opens into a giant chamber. In the middle of this water that looks to be about 50 or 60 feet deep, there is just a chair made out of water. And sitting in it is this extremely overweight water elemental with long, watery hair that's like glittery.
Question.
And it's sitting there. What?
You said overweight water elemental. What is it? Is it like made of water, or is it, not made of water?
It's made of water.
Okay.
But like the form that it is taking is an extremely obese man.
Okay.
Like the King Zora from Breath of the Wild.
I haven't played that game.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
And he is sitting in this like chair that is made of water. And as the four of you enter, which one of you speaks with the sky?
I'm just gonna step away from Eric, from Killian.
I'll straighten my coat out and like kind of brush off some more of the water because this thing's probably soaking wet through still. And that would be me.
Oh, you're still in water. There's no land in here at all.
Yeah, that would be me.
And why are you in the water? Walk on the water.
I'm gonna like step up and like try and step up.
As you pick your foot out of the water and put it down, you are walking on the water. The rest of you can do that as well.
I'm
I
gonna
like pick my foot up. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
That's
feel
something.
introductions are in order. I am Stross, king of the water elements of this temple. And who are the four of you?
Well, since I talked to the night sky, my name is Killian. I've bound myself with the Riftwalker and have been traveling the world since for the last 15 years.
The Riftwalker. I've not heard that name in a very long time. What of the rest of you?
I'm John. I'm here as a compatriot of these other three.
You look familiar to me. Have we met?
I haven't the clue. I remember nothing.
Must be my mistake.
My past is
I
a,
am.
my past is a blur to me, so if our acquaintances have been met, it's my mistake.
I am Janus Alexandros Kalogos, a wandering mercenary with no home at this point.
And I'm Celine. I'm from Aquilea. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, you're from the city. Funny.
Yes.
Your people used to tribute to me when they were first starting out. That eventually stopped, but beside the point. Why are the four of you here?
Well, there's various reasons, but the most recent one, the most pertinent one that causes us to hurry is discovering the forces of a celestial bureaucracy coming to your temple to attempt to fight you. Obviously, you're one that can take care of yourself, but we still worried for the safety of those targeted by these cretins.
The celestial bureaucracy, is that what that religion is calling itself?
If you want to call it a religion.
Do you know it by a different name?
I
call it
have a
foolishness.
hunch. I have a hunch I know what it is, but I don't know for sure, so we'll avoid that topic. There were men that tried to enter this chamber. They did not succeed. If you look down below your feet, I think you will probably still see their armors.
Oh,
I'm going to take a look down and see what's going on there.
Yeah, there's a couple sets of armors down there.
Looks like you made short work of them. I don't see what used to be in that
I mean-
armor, though. Huh.
it's going to be a nightmare for their paperwork.
So, where are the other ones that we're going to enter?
Chase those ones off.
Well, thank you. I exerted myself a little bit taking out the grunts. I'm nowhere near as powerful as I used to be.
What was it that made it slightly more difficult for you?
The age of the elements is waning. The closer we get to the closer we get to the fulfilling of the prophecy, the closer we get to the death of the elementals. The new gods will replace us,
Which prophecy would that be?
That would be the prophecy of the destruction of the moon.
Oh,
This isn't one I'm familiar with. Anybody here familiar with that one?
yeah.
Care to clue us in?
Uh, I am trying to remember if we actually like fleshed it out. I don't know if we did, but yeah, there. Yeah,
We
so
did
there is
not
like this,
flesh it out. We just know,
yeah.
just know
I
that
just
there's a
know,
prophecy that the moon will be destroyed.
right?
How that happens, what
Hmm.
occurs, nobody really knows the
Yeah,
logistics. It's just a prophecy.
exactly. Well, so the prophecy says that someday the moon is going to be destroyed. There is a second prophecy that says that someone will stop it, but yeah.
Hmm. I don't recall any of that in the texts that I found all those years ago. I might have to consult the Riftwalker on that one.
Mm.
Maybe that can help us.
Do not consult him in my chambers, please.
You said new gods to replace the old when the moon is destroyed. Do you know anything of those new gods?
No. I know
Mm.
that in ages past, elements such as myself were the pinnacle of power in the world. Now we're shells of our former selves. And as our power wanes, new powers will take our place. Seems that one of them is this celestial bureaucracy. As we get weaker, it seems to get stronger.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Is this other prophecy that it can be stopped something that can be helped?
I personally have never heard of this prophecy. So you would have to ask your friend that.
She looks very self-conscious and says in like a very rote sing-songy voice, "When shadows consume the sky and the moon's heart falters, a silver flame shall rise to mend the broken light and restore the heavens' balance." Um,
Huh.
Such is the problem with prophecy. It's
yeah,
all riddles.
it is.
Oh.
Well, I'm old and I'm tired, but I will answer any questions you have of me that is within my power to answer.
We do have a small request asked of us by a woman that lives down the hill. Um, she asked if we could just get a small vial of elemental water. Would that just be from the pool, if possible?
He just nods.
And fill the vial and cork it, put it in my pocket. I don't personally have any questions. You technically answered mine in regards to your knowledge of the forces that were coming after you. I don't think they're going to stop, though.
Well, I'm curious why you wanted to talk to me, knowing I could talk to the stars.
You answered my question when you said the name the Riftwalker. I take it you bind arcanums?
that could be. I enter into deals with them.
Interesting.
I prefer to think of it's more of a mutually beneficial relationship for the two involved, rather than some kind of vulgar binding.
Many try to bind those that are more powerful than them. It's good to know that someone doesn't think of it as control. Be careful with that one. Not everything he says is always helpful.
I don't always end up where I want to go, so I understand.
You said that you know me. Where? Where from?
It's not so much that I know you. I recognize you. But as I stated, I'm old. I've met many people. But your face, though withered and distorted, looks familiar. It's almost as if you've been in this chamber before. But I don't know how or why. But if I think of it, I'll reach out to you.
Thank you very much.
If you,
You and the.
if you,
Go ahead.
sorry, if this bureaucracy religion is going after elementals, are there other elementals that we should warn? Is there something that we can do to help?
I don't know where all of my siblings are. I don't know if they're alive or dead. We used to meet more often when we had more power, but those days are behind us.
Hmm.
There is the fire elemental, Striker. There is the earth elemental, Grave. And there is the air elemental, Breeze. Those are my three siblings. I have not seen them in many, many years. But if you were to find them, tell them I said hello and I missed them.
I think it's good enough reason to go look for them. Reuniting family is important.
Right.
Before you leave, a parting gift. The water around him starts to swirl as this small circular like seashell I don't know, like not music box, like it's a little chest that looks like a seashell that opens and the water rises and it just comes out to the four of you.
Gonna look inside it.
It is crystal clear water that is cold to the touch. And not like ice cold.
Like cool. Cold. What is this, Stross?
That is glacial water from my ancient self. You can use it to enchant a weapon and give it ice properties. You can drink it to heal yourself of all injuries. There are multiple uses for it. Use it however you see fit.
I'm gonna unholster my pistol, and so how would I do that with this? How would I enchant my weapon with it?
Pour the water onto it.
I'm gonna pour water right onto it.
Your pistol, all of the metal turns to ice.
Ooh.
And now it doesn't do physical damage, it does ice damage.
Neato burrito.
Nido mosquito.
Right. Now I need to figure out how to change. Oh, there we go. Ice. Close. I'm going to give it a name. Give it a name later.
He just looks at the four of you. If ever you find yourself in my territory again, feel free to stop in. I don't know how much longer I'll be alive, but if I'm here and you have questions, or if you need any aid of any form, let me know, and I will do my best within my power to help.
Much appreciated.
And if by chance you can stop that celestial bureaucracy, do it.
With great pleasure.
Can't say that they started off on a good foot myself either, so.
I'm gonna turn to start to leave after giving a little bow.
I have one last.
So as
I was gonna.
okay, go ahead.
I'll say I have one last thought. I'm gonna ask him, why wouldn't you be around next time? You said your power's waning, but is there a way to bolster it again?
In the days of old, the people of Aquilea would bring ocean water to my chamber and pour it into this pool. The ocean water would grant me power. I'm cut off from the ocean and unable to leave this chamber anymore. So when they stopped doing that, my power started to wane. People don't seem to care about elementals the way they used to. But if people were to bring me ocean water, it would strengthen me and keep me alive a little longer.
Okay.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's outside my range for that idea. Okay.
I mean, if you have an idea, shoot it by the game master. It might work.
Well, ritual and tropism. One of the things I could do is, or I could even use my summon. Well, the summon only works for people, but I could technically teleport things distances.
Okay.
So I was thinking about a ritual to teleport a volume of water from the ocean to the basin.
That theoretically could work, but you'd have to be at the ocean to cast it.
I'm
Yeah, you can't just pull it out of thin air.
Yeah, because it's like I can move something to somewhere.
Yeah.
So I could move the.
And that would be a difficult one to do.
That would be a difficult one to do. That would be a pretty gnarly one, which is why it's like, yeah,
Yeah, I think at your current level, it would be
a little bit of a
hard
stretch.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But convincing people
so
to bring water, maybe not.
Yeah. You could theoretically convince people to do it again.
Yeah.
Aquilea
I was
has
about to say.
some
Celine's
ancient.
already got the brain biscuits turning. She's like,
Yep.
I could at least talk to people about this.
yeah. I just didn't want to make a promise that I can't keep.
So as the four of you turn to walk away, Killian, a sheet of water comes up between you and the other three. As Stross speaks one more time, I have one warning for you.
I'm going to turn and look.
Do not break the final seal. When it breaks, the world ends. No matter what your friend tells you, do not break that seal. This point, the pillar or the wall of water like morphs around you, and it's now separating the four of you from Stross.
So he's kind of put himself like in his.
The three of you did, yeah. The three of you did not hear that. That's why the water went up.
Everything okay?
Yeah, he asked me if we could see about maybe getting the locals to get some ocean water flowing back to the temple here.
Yeah, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Just wanted to ask again. Apparently,
That's what you
Hey, you know,
Fair.
one last ask since I can talk to the spirits and the stars and all that neat, fun, happy jazz. And just he's trying to be a little bit evasive on it, but a little deflective in his wording. But anyway, let's keep going. Should get back to Zeta's house.
Once we get out of the temple, I'll pick up my boots that I left by the temple entrance and start carrying them with me until my feet are dry.
All right. So technically, you guys are on the spot where the elemental shrine is. The route that you took was
I think it was southwest one
Zetas?
and then back up.
Yeah, it was here to here to here. If you guys take that route back, I'll only need one discovery roll for the hex that you didn't discover anything last time. You had a fight. Or if you go a completely different route to Zetas, that's fine as well. It's whatever you guys want to do. And it is traveling once again.
I figure maybe we take the same route back, but that's me.
How many days
I'm
away
fine
are we?
with taking.
Are we 2 or 1?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
But because it's a path that's already been traveled, we're only going to do one travel roll.
Okay. Oh, also, Celine's got hit points and stuff back too.
I was going to ask about that because I did not click the thing.
You have
So,
your crisis level back.
Okay.
So half your hit points.
Cool.
You're just in crisis. And you do have
All right.
potions, remember. Everybody has health potions.
there we go.
Yep, you spend inventory points for that.
I have
But
not
if you
much in
guys
the
are
way of
camping,
inventory.
you
Right.
could spend the inventory points for a tent, and everyone heals up the first night. So it's whatever you guys want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'll
okay taking
spin-
either way.
Oh,
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
I-
go the same way. This is a low threat level, so I need a D8 from whoever is rolling this travel die.
I'll roll it.
I believe I've rolled it once already. Okay, sweet. Go for it.
2.
2. That is not a discovery or an encounter. You guys easily make your way back to Zeta's. You travel for 2 days. On the 3rd day, you walk up on that really 3-story tall, crooked tower of hers.
Oh, we're back.
Once again, unlike last time, though, there is red smoke coming out of her chimney.
That's
That's not
distressing.
normal.
It did. Huh.
I don't know.
Hurry and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Are you okay in there?
The raptor pulls open, and there are the 2 old eyes staring at you. Ah, it's you! Click. Chunk, chunk, chunk. The door opens. Welcome back!
Why is there red smoke coming out of your chimney?
'Cause I'm cooking.
Oh,
Come on, come in, come in, come in. Sit down, I'll get everybody food.
is smoke normally that color, guys?
No.
No.
I
No.
don't think so. Okay, just checking.
Although I did know a man who made a wonderful thing of bread. He used entirely too much cinnamon, but it was never red. It was more like a dark gray.
Huh.
Ugh.
Well, the smoke, not the bread. The bread was delicious.
Sure, but
Oh, sit down. Enough room at the table. She brings over. They are oversized red cinnamon rolls and puts one in front of all of you.
I'm going to grab
Wow.
one. Yep. Food.
So instead of tasting like normal cinnamon rolls, they taste like strawberries.
fascinating.
This is a wonderful,
Delicious.
wonderful recipe. I knew a guy outside this one town. I can't remember the name of it. And he did something like this, but with raspberries. The locals absolutely loved them.
That's a good idea. I'll try that next time. So, did the 4 of you find the temple?
Yeah, quite easily, actually. It's not too far away from here. Ran into a little bit of issue. Nothing that was too difficult to solve, but we see we ran into some of the friends of, well, the people that used to wear those boots.
Oh,
Uh,
did you
bureaucracy
dispatch them?
forces.
They ran.
Yes.
Well, poop. Anyway, what you said something about bureaucracy forces.
Yes, the people we're talking about. They were soldiers for the celestial bureaucracy.
Never heard of it. Anyway,
For the best.
did you get me the water?
Yes. And I'll place the vial on the table.
She grabs it and goes, "Ah, perfect, perfect." At this point, the crow, or Callie, who hadn't said a word the whole time, is like, get them their money, get them their money, get them their money. And she obviously cannot talk to the bird.
Right.
I'm going to stare
I
at the bird 'cause it's
appreciate this
loud.
so much. What?
I was going to look at the bird because it's squawking and it's loud.
As you look at it, Celine, you hear the bird.
Yeah.
It goes, "What are you looking at, ugly?"
I'm just going to keep
Ooh.
staring at it. Be like, thing's almost as loud as the seagulls back home. Huh.
I don't think I want to translate that one. It, and I'm sure she will pay us when she gets around to it. It's not a big deal. We're not in a hurry. These cinnamon rolls are delicious, Callie.
So
The
we
bird's
determined that
name.
you're talking in human, right?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
At this point, she
Bird's
turns
name is
and she goes, "That's
Callie?
right, money." She rushes up the steps.
The bird's name is Callie.
Bird's name is Callie. Oh, and
Huh.
now I remember. While she's gone, I want to like go peek in the fireplace and see if there's actually a salamander in there.
So as you peek up the chute of the fireplace, I wouldn't call it a salamander, but there is this like reptilian entity just sit like in there with its eyes closed and it's asleep until you look at it and the eyes open. Who are you?
I'm Celine. Hi.
Oh, are you a threat?
No, definitely not a threat.
All right, I'm going back to sleep. And it
Bye.
closes its eyes. The three of you just hear growling, and you hear her respond, then more growling, and then she comes back.
I'm gonna pull out my flask and take a long drink.
Is
From the
everyth-
floor above, what was that?
I was gonna ask, is everything okay?
Oh yeah. Now it makes a lot more sense. I think that thing helps defend this place. Maybe.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I think we should just let it sleep. I don't want to wake up a grumpy creature. That's no fun.
At this point, you all hear this extremely loud bang from the floor above you, and you just hear fiddlesticks. About a minute later, she comes down with this. It is a stained sock, and she plops it on the table in front of you, and you just hear jingling, like coins, clang. There you go, payment
Thank you.
for the water.
I was gonna look
I've
at
had
it,
that
just kind of like
for 20 years.
If he washed it in 20 years.
Oh, I've had that bag of money hidden for 20 years.
Thank you. Your kindness is appreciated.
I think there's 1,000 in there. I don't remember. I don't need money anymore.
Do you need your sock back, though?
That's not my sock.
Oh, no.
Do you dare to
Thank
ask?
you.
Don't think we need the backstory for the sock.
No?
Not planning on it.
Okay.
So, what are the four of you gonna do next?
Well, go back to Aquilea to start. And I'll look at the rest of the party. We're gonna start looking at getting those tributes started back up.
That would be the plan.
It'll prolong things, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
What tributes?
Well, apparently the water elemental needs a fresh and constant supply of seawater. So we were figuring if we go back to Aquilea, talk to some people there, we might be able to convince them to restart the process.
And that'll strengthen that thing?
Yeah, quite.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Well, tell whoever is bringing the water through if they need a safe haven
Hmm.
and a place to get a good meal and a nice cup of tea, they can stop and see me.
Noted.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you.
Your help is appreciated.
Well, you guys are the first visitors I've had outside of people trying to kill me in years.
That's unfortunate.
So, I like visitors. I'm an old woman. Who doesn't want to sit and gossip?
Well,
Ideally,
coming from-
then we won't be the last.
and coming from town, you'll get plenty of gossip.
Killian's kind of got like a shift in his seat, and he's like, "Gossip's one of my favorite pastimes. It's one of the reasons why I travel so often. Got anything good for heading back to Aquilea?"
Aquilea? No, not really. But I can tell you a secret about Crescent Harbor.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
So, Crescent Harbor has all the like merchants and all that. Do you know how it first came to be?
Oh, my understanding was it started off as a fishing village that just kind of grew and grew because the waters were just so rich with fish.
Correct. But do you know why they were rich with fish?
No, I can't say that I do.
Because the founder killed an ancient turtle in those waters that the fish feed on to this day.
It's not a story I've ever heard going around that city, and I'm from there originally.
Well, of course, why would they tell that story?
Well, it would give light to the prosperity of the water. Maybe people would protect that area that had the body of the turtle.
There's no money in protection.
Oh,
They want to keep fishing and making more money. That's why the merchants guilds are there.
There's no money and protection. I think Janice would see it differently.
Different kind of protection.
Oh, that is a rumor that I'm going to have to possibly investigate one of these days. Should I ever make my way back to Crescent Harbor?
Oh, you should make it back there. You're from there.
Yes, I am.
Everybody wants to go home.
I haven't been home in 15 years. I haven't seen a great reason to go back yet.
Well, regardless.
Maybe you found one.
Maybe. And I'm going to dig out my journal, and this is something that I keep, I don't want to say detailed, but somewhat decent maps of the areas that I've been to, marking key locations. I do this so I can use my teleportation from my Arcanum of the Gate and travel between these when I need to. But I also keep rumors like this and stories that I hear when I'm going from city to city, town to town. And I'm going to jot this down and be ready for it later.
Right, well, as always, as before, the four of you are welcome to stay the night. I've got spare rooms. If not, you can hang out. I'm going to go back to cooking.
Thank you. I would definitely take up a sleep in a bed as opposed to roughing it.
Oh, I definitely agree to spending the night.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give us a rest.
Sounds amazing.
At this point, she turns back. Callie, show them to their rooms.
Its name is Callie.
This point, you guys see the crow has not moved from that cuckoo clock the whole time you've been there.
Mhm.
And you just see it kind of like waddle, hop to the floor, and it's just walking towards the steps.
Anything for a night in a bed.
It gets to the stairs and looks at you, Celine, and goes, "Uppies."
Okay. Should pick it up, put it on her shoulder.
Up the steps.
All right. Leads the way, following the directions of the bird.
It quickly guides you all to an individual room. Most of the rooms are just, there's a bed in them. There's like no nightstand, nothing. However, Celine, the last room it takes one of you to, which is Celine, it takes you to the room. It says like, red coat, this room. Pale guy, this room. Sword, this room. You, this room. The room you go into, Celine, it looks like it's dust covered completely. Like even opening the door, it has like resistance to it. In the room is one single, like not a double bed, it's like a single bed. And there are children's toys in the corner that are just covered in dust.
Huh. Did she have children?
Yep.
Oh. They must have been gone for a long time for it to get this dusty.
She had a whole slew of kids.
Yeah?
Yep. They moved away.
Uh-huh. Were you here when they were here?
Yeah.
What were their names?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Well,
My name was
Katie?
Callie.
yes, your name is Callie. That is true. Do you need help getting back downstairs or can you make it on your own?
I walk. And it hops and like starts walking.
Okay. And taking this in stride, she'll kind of attempt to clean up a little bit. And curiously look at the toys.
Do the four of you do anything before the next morning?
I'm gonna look at the room and. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look at the room and just kind of, if nothing's out of the ordinary, just go to sleep.
Why don't you roll me a insight. There's nothing out of the ordinary of this room. It looks like it's just a nondescript room that hasn't been used in ages.
He's gonna just set his stuff down, get relaxed, and go to sleep.
All right.
I'm going to check in with each party member before I call it a night. Just make sure they're okay before hitting the sack. Normal. Making sure. I don't know another way to put it. Just knock on the door, making sure, hey, before I go to bed, you're good? Need anything?
I'm good.
The day was weird enough. It's weary on me now.
And with Celine's room being coated in dust, I'm like, be careful. This could upset allergies badly.
She's got like her cloak like tied around her mouth while she's dusting.
Uh-huh.
Good night
Uh,
then.
I'm going to say that since you're all in a safe place, in a warm bed, you get the full effects of if you had slept with a tent, but you don't have to spend a tent, meaning you heal and get all your magic points back, everything.
Yay!
Na, na, na. Typical in music.
Where's the bed? There's the bed. There we go.
I'm healed up. I'm happy.
The next morning, you guys are woke up to the smell of just cooking food.
So we're
When
all
you
meeting in the
guys,
hallway. I was gonna say before we head downstairs, does anybody question where she keeps getting her ingredients from?
She said she didn't need money anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There were only the
Swirling
boots
trains?
left.
I'm sorry.
I
I
thought
did
that
not
was
consider
kind of.
that.
I thought that was pretty obvious. Only the boots were left. Food is food. I mean, those cinnamon rolls are absolutely delicious.
No, food is not.
No.
Walk downstairs.
No.
When the four of you get to the bottom of the steps, there are 4 places set at the table. There's bacon, eggs, toast, looks like some homemade jelly. And each of you has a lunch bag at each of your seats.
Zeta, are you not eating breakfast with us?
I'll eat later, don't worry about it. You guys got a
Uh.
long journey ahead. You need your strength, and I get you all a lunch for later.
Oh, thank you. I think.
John just kind of picks at his food.
I'm gonna eat, assuming it's something magic. Really hoping it's not long pig.
So, so with bacon, you know bacon. Like if it's not pig, you know. So it's bacon. It's pig.
Eggs are safe.
Look, transmutation magic's a hell of a drug.
I'm gonna have my breakfast.
As you're all eating, she just comes back. She's like, coffee, orange juice, apple
Coffee, thank
juice.
God.
I believe that coffee's always appropriate.
She comes with this kettle that looks like it's 1,000 years old. And she just pours coffee into all your cups. Need anything else?
This is perfect, thank you.
I'm good, thank you much. Maybe a bit of hot sauce for the
You
eggs.
Have any what?
Hot sauce. Peppers that have been spicy peppers that have been crushed and combined with water and other seasonings.
Vinegar.
You put it on eggs and other things to add a little bit of a.
If you want peppers, I have peppers.
Sure, thank you.
She comes back with a jar. So you know how like your I don't know, maybe not your grandparents, but you know how people's like grandparents that were born in like the early 1900s will have a jar that you'll pull out of their basement
Mhm.
today, and it has that weird look, but it's still good.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
what it looks like. It looks like it's old. It still has some cobwebs on it, and she can't open it, so she just puts the jar in front of you.
I'll take it and do my thing.
Those are old. Very, very old, but they were canned properly, so they should be good.
Hold my breath for as soon as he pops it open.
I'm gonna sniff
Ugh.
it. I mean, I've eaten some weird things. I've traveled around the world a bit, so if it doesn't smell rotten, I'll eat it.
Oh, they smell like canned peppers.
I'll eat them. I'm good.
All right. So, do the four of you need anything else before you head out?
No, you've been more than helpful. Thank you.
I don't need anything, but I guess since it seems like we're going to be traveling, is there anyone out there that you would like me to like relay a message to or anything? Callie was telling me that your kids went out in the world a long time ago. If I run into them, I could tell them you say hello.
She just kind of looks really sad.
Oh,
It's like, no, I'm all right.
oh, okay.
But if you can get people to come visit me, that'd be great.
Then we'll do what we can for that.
Also, tell the people of Aquilea I'm not some crazy old witch. I'm just a sweet old grandma that wants to dote on grandkids.
Mm.
And could use some company. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, when your only friend in the world for as long as you can remember is a bird that won't stop squawking, gets old.
Well, I'll make you a deal. You keep this food coming, and anytime I'm in the area, I will stop by and we could trade stories.
Perfect. That'll work for me. Now you all be safe, okay?
Agreed.
You as well.
I'll do my best.
I assume the four of you head out after the breakfast is over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The four of you are handed your lunches. She gives you they're like water skins of water for the four of you. It sends you on your way. It is about another day before you get to Aquilea. We're going to skip that and say you guys are approaching Aquilea. Celine, what does it look like coming upon Aquilea?
Aquilea is probably compared to other places a little less technological and a little more rustic in a way. A lot of wooden buildings. I'm trying to think so and they're not into like the whole like straight lines for city planning, like orderly roads. So everything's kind of little twisty. You got to go roundabouts to get to places.
All right. You guys enter into the city. Where do you head?
I am going to be following the local here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to check in with the temple first.
Yeah, I have no clue where I'm going.
Then let's go check in. At some point, we
All
should
right.
stop and resupply as well.
That would also be a good idea, yeah.
Um,
And it
GM
was
real quick.
1,000 zenit that was in the sock.
That was actually going to be my question. So we each get
Somebody
250.
counted it. Nice.
Yep.
All right, so we each get 250. So 250 and 275 is 525.
Correct. So you approach the temple, you go in, and your mentor Eileen is there working on a couple different things. She sees you come in. Celine, you're back. You're back. What did you discover?
Oh my goodness, so many things. Well, first of all, there is an elemental temple out in the forest. It's a water temple. And the water elemental could actually use some help. He said that the people of Aquileia used to bring him salt water a long time ago, but that has stopped. And that if if that's something that we could get people to do again, that would help him.
Specifically ocean water.
Yeah, ocean water.
Ocean water. Well, that's not anything I could do, but Queen Eleonora and King Alaric could potentially make that happen. Now that I think of it, there used to be a tradition that once a month, several buckets of salt water were taken into the woods. That was a long time ago, before I was even born. And it just kind of stopped. No, like, in the history books, it never says why, but it just stopped. But yes, you would have to talk to the king and queen about that. I can try to set something up if you would like me to.
That would be very helpful if we could get an audience for sure.
So, what was tell me about the water elemental.
Hey, I have something to say about the water elemental. It's been bothering me for days. Is his chair made of him? He was a massive entity made of water, and that's impressive and amazing with flowing, sparkling hair. Gorgeous to behold. But he sat upon a great chair made of water. So, like, is the chair made of him? Is he made of chair?
That is a very philosophical question that the four of you will need to ponder. Eileen is looking at you like, what?
Sorry.
Like explaining it to her, like trying to explain what you saw to someone who wasn't there, like it just doesn't do it justice. So she's just like, so it was this rather large blob of water sitting
He was
on,
like a person.
sitting on a watery chair.
Yeah.
Like a throne, like a water throne.
That's
It was
Decadency and the nature of the chair are irrelevant. The fact that it was made of water is
Right.
the. I'm gonna like walk off doing this. Just I don't understand it.
It was very impressive. It really was. He also talked about the prophecy.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, he said that when the moon is destroyed, that's also tied into the ending of the age of the elementals. I hadn't heard that part before. New gods replacing the old. Eeh.
And I'll re-walk up at this point, having passed my existential crisis. We also came across forces from the celestial bureaucracy to the south.
That little religion from what's that place called? Arcadia.
Yes, the Holy Kingdom.
Why would their soldiers be up here?
To kill the elemental.
This point, she walks off, doesn't say a word, goes up to one of her bookshelves, and pulls off this. This book looks like it's been. So you know how you'll find like a book that's been in an attic for ever, that's like pages, like when you turn it, pages start to fall out. The cover's mangled. That's what she plops down. She flips through. She
You
goes,
can
so
like
the
hear it when the
prophecy.
spine bends.
Yeah. So in the prophecy of the moon's destruction, it does say that it will bring about an age of change. What that means is always vague. So you're saying that this Stross was his name?
Stross, yeah.
Yeah.
He said that it will be the end of the elementals and the new gods will replace the old.
She like looks to everyone to make sure she got that right, but yeah.
Seems like it's a very similar to what we have in the tomes here, just more specific. The problem with prophecies, as you all know, is that they're vague. Like, what does it mean, the destruction of the moon? Is it literally the moon falling from the sky? Is it more personal? Could it be like the high priest of the Temple of the Moon? Like, you'd never know. So it makes them hard to intervene. But anyway, you guys are welcome to look through my books, whatever you want. I'm gonna go try to set up a meeting with you and the king and the queen about potentially reinstating that ritual of taking water.
That sounds like a good step.
All right. She walks off. As the four of you are about to do whatever it is you're about to do, Killian, there's a tug on your, like, the back of your coat.
Turn around, look down.
There is this rather short. To you, it looks like a demon.
Like,
Hey,
yeah.
the three of you do not see this. You just see him look down and start talking.
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh,
Oh god.
sorry, just spaced out there for a second.
Spaced out.
I'm gonna go over here for a little bit. I need to stretch my legs. Am I going stretch?
Happens to all of us.
Yeah. So I'm gonna walk away from the group a little bit, just out of earshot. And is this something that's ever happened before?
Occasionally you will have either cultists or people or demons like approach you. It's been a curse that you've had ever since the seals on how do your seals look? Like, are they marks on your arm, or like, what are they specifically?
They're invisible anytime before they're about to there's an issue where they might be broken. So
Okay.
when they do come into play, so to speak, they look like glowing rings that go around my arms, starting from my wrists and going up to just about mid upper arm on each arm.
Yeah, ever since these seals were put on you,
Mm-hmm.
or however they came to be, this happens not a lot, but not infrequently, right? It's not something that's like an everyday occurrence, but it's not as off or as it's not an every year type thing. It's like
It doesn't
somewhere in
freak me out.
between. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not going to freak me out. Okay. So I'm going to walk over, out of earshot. I'm going to sit down, look for a bench or something to sit on. And what do you want?
Well, obviously we're here to help you.
Help with you guys is always subjective.
Well, you're not doing your part. So we got to do something, right?
Killian's going to avoid and deflect that statement.
Here's the problem. It's real simple. We need to cause some chaos so that you will do your thing. But you're the boss. So what type of chaos would you like us to do?
The most chaotic thing you could do at this point is leave so I can go about my business without being interrupted.
Not chaotic. Whatever. Here's the thing. If you ever need a push, we're around.
Ever present and ever annoying.
One of these days, we're not going to be as polite about it. So hurry up with your part of the bargain.
And
At this point, there's a little puff of smoke and it goes away.
And I'll mutter something under my breath like, one of these days, maybe a long way away, and I ain't getting any younger. And I'm going to shuffle back over to the group.
You okay?
Yeah, getting old, leg can't handle all this standing. And Killian is in his 40s. Like, he's gray in the beard, got a bit of gray hair, so it's not too much of a stretch.
Yeah, 40 stinks.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and everything cracks and hurts.
Like a glow stick.
Right? Only I
So
don't glow after.
what are the four of you? What do the four of you do as you're waiting for Eileen to come back?
Do we have like a tavern or an inn or somewhere that we treat as kind of like our this is where we meet when we're in town or whatever?
I don't know. Do you guys?
That was just as much a question to the party as it was the GM.
Oh. I would assume we have a place that maybe
Sure.
like I would assume. I mean, Celine lives here. I
Well,
might assume you have a place, and then I would assume the rest of us are visitors.
Yeah.
To the place we go.
I guess.
I
Yeah,
mean,
makes sense to
Celine
me.
has a house here somewhere or
Right.
lives here somewhere. So I don't know if you all meet at Celine's or if you go to a local inn or tavern. If you do, Celine will tell us what that tavern is. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'm fine with either way. My character lives out of taverns and inns with all the traveling he does.
Recently, same.
I would probably be in some kind of tavern that would have good information and job prospects.
I like fun
All right.
names. That's really my only restriction.
All right, everybody. What is the name of the tavern that you all meet at?
I tend to want to go for one that was the nickname for a place that's not far away that me and my buddy used to go into. It was a dive bar. It was really called the Flamingo, but the nickname for it was the Dirty Bird.
I like that.
The Dirty Bird.
The dirty
Yeah.
bird. Take that. Sure.
It was it used to be the Flamingo, which was a nice place in probably the 50s, but it's a dive bar now. So a rusty looking flamingo is the sign now.
Okay. All right.
So-
You guys are at the tavern. I guess just hanging out, talking, doing whatever it is you guys do.
Yeah.
Before like settling in at the tavern on our way, I was gonna go and resupply my inventory points.
Okay. Uh,
It's 10 zenit per inventory point.
Alrighty.
Unless,
thanks, Eric. I was
say-
just about to look it up.
I was say unless you have a different
Fair.
amount that you want to do for that, but
GM's discretion.
No, if that's what the book says, that's what we're gonna go by.
yeah, page 105 on the
Yep,
core
10
book.
zenit for every inventory point. So,
Sounds good to me.
yeah, you easily do that. Shopkeeper's just an old guy. Inventory points, which is basically your inventory fills back up. You guys are at the tavern. Your first round of drinks are being put in front of you, and Eileen comes back in. Or comes in. Ah, I thought I'd find you all here. So, I got you a meeting with the king and the queen. Tomorrow morning, be at the castle. And they will see you. They know you're coming, Celine, and they know that there are 3 friends of yours. I told them that it is a urgent matter, and they were willing to meet with you. Don't be late.
Won't be late.
Obviously, you all drink lightly tonight.
Fine.
I always drink lightly. And as the night goes on, at least 3 of these big glasses will fill my front of the table.
I will cut myself after one glass of wine.
I grew up in a sailing, fishing
All right.
town, city, so 3 pints is nothing.
Is there drunk rules in this game?
Negative.
Negative. Why? Are you wanting to get drunk?
I'm immune to poison, so I would assume that would negate drunkenness, but
Ah. Well. Yeah, I would say so, but there's no drunkenness in this game.
so yeah. So I was just gonna say I drank an ungodly amount, and so it seemed like it didn't affect me as much, but
Feels like you could like make it a drinking game and fleece a bunch of people for money for that.
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say you guys have a few drinks, hang out, go to bed. Unless you guys have something else you want to do before the meeting with the king and the queen.
No, just
Oh, go ahead.
When it was our meeting tomorrow, was it in the morning?
Morning.
Okay. I will see if there's a local like wash and dry type place, like a laundromat. I mean, I know they don't have washing machines, but somewhere I could get my outfit cleaned because, you know, decorum and etiquette.
I'm gonna say with the way Kara has described Aquilea, I think there's just a communal wash basin
That'll
in
work.
the like center of the city where everybody washes their clothes.
I
Sounds
will
good to me.
go wash my clothes and then hang them near the window in my room to air dry.
All right.
I wanted to try to talk to Celine while we're sitting around drinking about just afterlife and the things that listening to
Yeah.
the questions she has, trying to ask her more questions and making a connection,
Hmm.
which I would spend a fabula point to do. Or is that not?
Um, spending a fabula point is more trying to put something into the scene or create a story element that wasn't there. If you're just talking in general, you don't need to spend a fabula point.
I'm trying to create another connection,
A bond.
a bond.
Oh, you don't have to spend a fabula point to create a bond. That's
Okay.
any downtime, which you're about to go to bed, so you can create one.
Okay.
Just
Hey.
create one. But if you guys want to roleplay that out, go for it. I'm all for that.
So,
It was yeah.
what is it that you know and you read of these afterlife to flow?
Well, I mean, actually, that the part of the reason I'm so interested in it is because it's relatively unknown. But that water elemental seeming to recognize you, and then earlier you were like following your feelings. That was so neat. Do you think that had something to do with whoever you were before?
It was a flash of memory. It was a creation in time. It was something that comes, and as I followed it, it was like a sneeze that didn't come, and then as soon as I
Mhm.
hit a certain path, it just came about. And
Oh
I
wow.
don't understand. The It's almost as though it's memories of someone else, not me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's something there that there's an itch with the water elemental that there's something there he knows, and I don't know if it's his weakness or his reluctance to tell me, but my distrust is always there.
I wonder if part of the reason you feel disconnected, I wonder, like, it could be two, like, maybe maybe it's like you are inhabiting a body that is different, or maybe just the process of like dying and being reborn makes you feel disconnected that way. Ah, I want to know.
As soon as I can figure it out, I'll let you know.
Mhm. Maybe we'll run into someone else who recognizes you.
Maybe the siblings of this water elemental will help us. Maybe that's something down the road.
At some point, I'll get back with my clothes, my wet air drying clothes, and just be like, "You two still up talking about this? We have an early
Oh,
day. You should get to bed, get some rest. The
good
hour
point.
grows
Good
late."
point.
That's such a hangover in the morning.
You had one.
And I haven't had any in a long time.
All right. We're gonna cut to the next morning. I assume all of you make it to the castle in the morning with no issues.
I'm not gonna have any
You
issues.
you you approach. You are. Everybody knows Celine, so the guards just lead you in. They bring you into the throne room. Kara, describe the throne room.
Oh man. Uh, they're co-rulers, so their thrones, their fancy chairs are definitely like equal in status and grandeur. I want to say, I don't know. It's probably your standard, like, they've got their slightly raised area where they sit and then a more open section for people to approach.
Good enough for me.
Sure.
They are both sitting there. It is Queen Elenara and King Alaric. They are both sitting there as you enter. Queen Elenara speaks. Well, if it isn't the priestess, Celine,
You're frozen.
how are you today?
I am very well, thank you. My friends and I have a favor to ask. We would like to reestablish a tradition that that the high priestess was telling me fell out of fashion sometime when she was young or before she was young, of bringing salt water to the elemental shrine of the water elemental.
All right. At this point, we are going to do a clock.
Ooh.
It is going to be a 4-section clock. It is going to be the 4 of you trying to convince the 2 of them to reinstate this. You will make an argument. I'll call for a check. Once the clock is either filled with failures or successes, it will determine whether or not they agree to do this. So, we're going to role play a little bit, and then I'll call for a check. At this point, King Alaric sits up. And why do you want to reinstate this? What would be the purpose? We've not done this in hundreds of years.
Out of
Well,
character, is anyone okay? Never mind. I was gonna say,
No, you
who wants
can-
to start?
Anyone
ahead, go ahead.
anyone in the group can speak up. Like everybody is
Go
involved.
for it.
I have an argument, but I think mine should be timed after another argument.
I think the local who started the conversation should go first.
Ah, dang it. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
The guy who doesn't remember anything should not speak right away.
Fair. Fair
Uh,
enough.
Well, I believe, based on what I've learned, that it would behoove us all to help strengthen this elemental, and that this would words that this would help with that. The power of the elementals is tied to the prophecy about the moon being destroyed, and while we don't know the specifics about that prophecy, I think that trying to prevent that from happening is something that is important to us as a people. Certainly to my
All right.
temple.
I'm going to say the die that I am going to select here is an insight die. And you can pick, if you can convince me of strength or dex, it's going to be hard in a social, but I know you like to roll willpower. So if you want to
Force
roll
of my
willpower,
conviction.
yeah, I would say willpower will work.
Just the sheer earnestness of her presentation. She truly believes what she is saying, and that this is something that would help
And I'm-
everyone
and-
involved.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, because you're a local, they're inclined to like you and agree with you. This is going to be an easy check for you, which is a 7.
Okie doke, rolling.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Woo!
Definitely. That was not a critical, was it? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
That is 1 pie slice of the clock checked in. The king kind of sits back and he goes, so what you're saying is that you believe that the prophecy of the moon and the elementals' decline are connected. Do you think increasing the elemental strength could put off the prophecy of the destruction of the moon?
My answer
I
is
do not.
someone else want to go. There we go.
We personally do not know if it would put it off, but it could bolster them. There's a part of the prophecy that speaks of new gods rising in the wake of the fall of the old gods, the elementals, as it were. When we were attempting to find the shrine, we came across forces from the Empire of Arcadia, bureaucracy forces. We believe they were attempting to assault and kill the elemental to gain power for their twisted faith, as it were. That is troubling, as the stated goal of most of the bureaucratic forces are to spread their influence across the land.
You're saying the celestial bureaucracy is up here already.
Yes. And I believe that if we were to help improve the power of the elemental, they could prove a bolstering force of support against bureaucracy forces were they attempting to spread their influence further.
All right, make a roll. Insight is the one I pick.
Okay. I mean, I might as well just pick willpower as well. It's similar to
Okay.
insight, and I don't really know if might would be viable in this argument.
No.
I will ask if I can see that if I can invoke my my origin as a former military captain.
To what?
To get a bonus to the roll? Or is that not?
Is that how that works?
So Fabula point expenditures, typically you would invoke any of your identity items, like your identity, your theme, your
Right.
Yeah.
origin, and that would give you a reroll of one of the dice should you need it.
Reroll.
A
Okay.
bond is what would give you a flat bonus. So if
Got it. Okay.
you were like,
Okay.
if you had a bond to that person, however many bonds you have to the person or the thing would be your bonus added to the final result.
Got it. Okay. So instead of invoking it ahead of time, I would then potentially call upon using my identity as a former military captain as if I needed to re-roll one of the two dice.
Correct. Or both.
Okay. Rolling. That's an 11.
You don't need to invoke it at all. You definitely make a good solid argument there. They kind of talking to each other. If we had a water elemental on our side, we would have a powerful force against an invading army if the celestial bureaucracy comes. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're mumbling. So what exactly would we need to do in order to set this up, to make this work?
Well, and I'll step in on this one and say, well, you would need to provide a fresh supply and steady supply of seawater to the temple. There's a basin that you would deliver it to, and that would bolster the elemental strength.
Okay, so we would need to be sending people with salt water into the wilderness.
Now, there is a way station that you could use that is safe. The hut of a local named Zeta. She's also proven herself capable of defending against the celestial bureaucracy already. She's had them assault her cabin, and she was able to dispatch them.
Zeta, the crazy old witch.
That's I would say that's an inaccurate description. She does come across as a bit eccentric, but she actually isn't as crazy as she seems if you were to spend some time talking to her.
I'm gonna say, because you brought up the way station and have defended Zeta, that your check is gonna be a 7 as well. If you hadn't brought up Zeta as a way station, it was gonna be a 10.
Okay.
for them to be sending people into the wilderness.
So you're saying
Insight.
Okay. So my insight's a 10. I kind of want to go with insight still, like 2 insights. Because I
All
think that
right.
was a pretty insightful argument that was made.
Oh yeah, you almost got a critical.
Almost.
So 3 out of the 4 slots of this are done. They're talking amongst themselves. They look back up to the 4 of you. So having a water elemental on our side would be useful. We have a way to cut the travel, make it less strenuous because we have a way station. Is there anything else that we should know about this trek? Is there any hazardous terrain? What is the likelihood of the celestial bureaucracy being there again? We want to help this elemental because of the arguments you've made, but we have to protect our people. We can't just send anyone out there.
I will step up.
Is there anything we should know?
King,
Go ahead.
I cannot speak much for anything. We believe we've chased off the bureaucracy, but the more we bolster this water elemental, the more we give them power, the more they'll be able to keep the bureaucracy away. If we don't, they may overpower, and it may shift the balance of powers even in this region. And you, King, seem like you are wise enough to manage and keep control. And we want to keep you as a protector of these people. So, if we can bolster this water elemental, it may just keep the balance in your favor. And I would ask that you continue to support this water elemental's reign and to build further things, because what if we cannot?
All right. Make your check.
Insight, and I'm going to say willpower.
Okay.
Can
Woo!
I'm going
You
to.
just got it.
I just
Okay.
got it.
Yep, you got it. It was a 7. At this point, they just kind of go, you all have made very strong arguments. And we are inclined to agree that we should work together to bolster this elemental. It could be a great partnership. Having a water elemental as an ally, especially one as ancient as this, I believe
Strauss.
Stross, that was its name. It would make sense to do this. We will work on it, and we should be able to start sending water to him within a week. Also, we will need to know where this Tower of Zetas is. Not that we are inclined to believe that if you all have met her and will vouch for her, that she must not be a weird witch like we think. But I think we're going to send an ambassador to go speak with her to make sure that everything is on the up and up. But due to your recommendations, we think it would be best if we worked with her as well. And thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we will work together with you to make sure that it is done.
By your leave. I'll bow.
Is there anything else that you require of us?
I'm gonna look at everybody in the group, and nobody says anything. Thank the king for their time, and make my way out the chamber with the rest of the group when they start to leave.
All right. And that is about, I think, the 2 hour, or I think we're at about the 2 hour mark.
1 hour, 53 minutes.
Yep, I think that is a good place to call it for tonight. That was a great session, I think. I had a lot of fun. Something we didn't do last week. Kara, your quirk.
Yep.
We are 4 hours in. There is
Mhm.
something with your quirk that we have to do.
There is indeed. I am supposed to think carefully and honestly about what happened during the session and choose one of the 5 options.
Yep.
It's basically,
let me get to that page where the quirks are.
Yep.
They're in the High Fantasy Atlas, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, there.
Yes.
Glorious
All right.
fate.
Glorious fate. Yes. So we look at the 5 options. The prophecy
Mhm.
was fulfilled. No.
Definitely
You
not.
acted in accordance to the prophecy. You acted neither in accordance or nor against the prophecy. You acted against the prophecy. The prophecy can never be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think about it and think about it honestly.
Right. It came up, but I'm not real sure whether I can really say that I acted in a way that was specifically for or against it. I'm in the middle at the moment unless someone else disagrees. It does encourage me to talk to the group.
So the prophecy that you are referring to, is it the one that
Right.
you are trying to stop
one-
it, or is it about the moon blowing up?
This is supposed to be the one about Celine, the one about the silver flame
Okay.
rising, blah blah blah. So
Her
Well-
prophecy is basically she's going to stop the destruction of the moon.
I'd say she did
And,
something
yeah.
to kind of prevent it by getting the elemental,
Right.
The water that they're going to need.
right. So
We are taking steps to do that. So
steps. Yeah. It's hard to say
So-
because I don't know for sure that this will act, like, you know what I mean? From where I'm sitting, I'm like, I don't know if what I did is going to actually help or not. Not sure.
So the way I would think of it is there is a clear connection between the elemental's powers being waning
Mhm.
and the moon's destruction. You as a player and with the help of the group are bolstering the elemental, which
right.
may not stop the prophecy, but that is at least
Right.
working in a way, in
Towards
my
it.
opinion, that would
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say because it says fully restore your hit points, mind points, and recover from all
Mhm.
status effects. That doesn't happen. I'm gonna say all of you are gonna get another experience point tonight.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh.
For
So
that.
right there, that pushes us over.
Yep. And
Yay.
I believe only 1 Fabula point was spent tonight.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yep. So at the end of it all, you get 5. You're gonna get 1 from Kara, 5 for the session, and then because you round up, it's 1 for the 1 Fabula point that was spent. So that is going to be 7 total.
7 plus 9 is what?
Woohoo.
I'm unsure if it would impact it, but I think mine is also supposed to trigger every 4 hours roughly.
Okay, what was yours again?
the Repentant Enforcer in the techno fantasy.
Okay.
And
Let
let's
me
look at
look
Ruin
real
Bringer as
quick.
well after we do that.
All right, Repentant Enforcer. Manage to steal something. At the end of each session, if you hindered one or more of the organization's strategies, or if you remedied some of the harm that they have done, gain one. Yeah, I would say you gain a subversion point.
Okay. I
Strengthening
was
the
just
water
curious.
elemental is subversioning them. I
Okay.
forgot that you had one. That's on me. And then Runebringer. We're going to take a look at that real quick.
Oh, I love this. The level up system.
Roll 2d20.
29.
Dang.
29. If you roll equal to or lower than your current character level, your ruin advances. It will always advance if you are level 40 or higher. So one of your seals did not break this session.
Yay.
And then I don't think for the Revenant there was anything like that at the end of the
There's
session.
nothing like that in the Reverend.
Yeah.
You just get to mess
all
with
right.
me while telling the story.
Yep. Which we will eventually get into some of that stuff as we go along. I think the
You already
water
started
elemental
to.
not giving you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he. I think your character caught on that he actually does know more than he's letting you know,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know he. You're gonna have to work that out of him if you want any information out of him. But yes, and then that is 7 points, so that would technically put you to 16 total.
Mm-hmm.
Take the 10 away, and you all level up.
You don't need to do that. Just put
Yay.
16. Just put 16 total in your XP part on your character sheet. A little finger will appear. Click on that. It'll automatically level you up. And it increases your hit points. It does all that stuff for you. Then you could
That's
go.
beautiful.
Yep. And what you can do is you can go to the thing that looks like a book with the internet symbol on it over where like we roll dice and all that. And you go to character creation and you go to skills and spells and you can go to your character sheet and add whatever you want there. Like I'm going to take another entropic point in entropic magic. And I am going to take the spell, I think Omega. Because I have stop and acceleration. Umbra would be nice. Because I can hit everybody. Ooh, you going briefly into the future, and then if the check was not a fumble nor a critical success, I may force that creature to reroll both dice. Once I force 2 rerolls, the spell ends. Ooh, I could wreak some havoc on your enemies there, Steve.
Hey, whatever you guys want to do. All right. To anyone that was watching, thank you so much. Thank you, Kara, Joe, Howard, Eric. I've enjoyed the first 3 sessions. Well, 2 and then session 0. I'm Steve. That's Eric. This has been Ronin's Den. We'll see you next time.